Have you ever walked into your living room, looked around at all the clutter, and felt that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest? Maybe it's the boxes stacked in the corner, the ones you've been meaning to go through for years, or the drawer in the kitchen full of papers, takeout menus, and things you don't even remember putting there. You take one look, think, where do I even start? And then quietly walk away. Again. If that sounds like you, I want you to know something important right now. You are not lazy. You are not a mess. You're overwhelmed. And I understand why. Because for women like us, women who have lived full lives, raised families, held jobs, cared for others, and carried the emotional weight of everyone around us, clutter is not just stuff. Clutter is memories. Clutter is decisions we haven't made yet. Clutter is love, grief, guilt, and time, all piled up into corners of our home. But what if I told you, you don't have to get rid of everything to feel better? You don't need a weekend or a big trash bag or someone barking at you to just toss it all. What you need is a gentle place to start, a way to let go with grace, a guide that understands how hard it really is and how freeing it can be, one small step at a time. In this video, I'll walk you through 9 heartfelt steps to declutter your home, without pressure, without shame, and without losing the stories that matter most. This isn't about perfection, it's about peace. Let's begin. Together. Step 1. Start with the lightest door. When we think about decluttering, most of us immediately go to the hardest places: the garage filled with memories, the attic with boxes we haven't touched in years, the guest bedroom closet that still holds baby clothes, even though those babies now have families of their own. But let me tell you something important. That's not where we begin. Trying to declutter the most emotionally loaded place first is like asking yourself to run a marathon before you've even put on your shoes. It's overwhelming, it's heavy, and honestly, it's why so many of us give up before we ever really get started. So here's the better way. Start with what I call the lightest door. This is the spot in your home that holds the least amount of emotion, the place where decisions will feel quick and easy. No guilt, no history, just stuff. For my friend Diane, it was her pantry. She opened the door and found expired cans, spices she hadn't used since the early 2000s, and 3 bags of flour that had turned yellow. She didn't cry. She didn't sit down and stare into space. She just made quick, confident choices. That one small action, 15 minutes in the pantry, sparked something. I didn't just clean a shelf, she told me later. I reminded myself that I can move forward. So I ask you now, where's your lightest door? It might be a bathroom drawer, or a linen shelf that's overflowing with towels you never use, or maybe even that little plastic bin under your sink. The point is not where you start, it's that you start. Choose a spot that feels neutral, that doesn't carry memories, and that offers you one small, manageable win. Because every journey begins with the first step, and this time, your first step is opening a door that won't break your heart, just your clutter. Step 2. Touch once. Decide once. Have you ever started decluttering, only to find yourself shuffling the same objects from one pile to another? You pick up a paperweight you don't use, think, maybe I'll find a spot for this, then set it down in a decide later pile. Later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next month. And the clutter never really leaves. This is what I call pretend progress. And to be honest, many of us do it. Not because we're lazy, but because we're afraid of making the wrong choice. We're afraid of letting go. So instead, we postpone. That's why I want you to practice something simple and powerful. Touch once. Decide once. This means exactly what it sounds like. When you pick something up, you make a decision right then and there. No maybe piles. No saving it for your daughter to look at someday. Just one of 3 decisions. Number 1. Keep it, if you use it often or truly love it. Number 2. Donate it, if it's still in good shape, but no longer useful or meaningful to you. Number 3. Let it go. Trash it, recycle it, or thank it and release it. That's it. No 4th category. No, just in case. I remember my neighbor Linda, who used to hold on to every bottle, bag, and box just in case. One day, she went through her bathroom cabinet and found 14 nearly empty shampoo bottles. Touch once, decide once. She tossed 11, kept the ones she liked, and finally had room for the things that actually mattered. And here's the beautiful part. It didn't just clear the shelf, it cleared her mind. I didn't know how exhausting all that undecided stuff had become, she said. Now I feel like I can breathe. You deserve to breathe too. So the next time you touch an item, remind yourself, one touch, one decision, never a step closer to peace. Step 3, the 3-second gut rule. Let's talk about the moment that stops us in our tracks. You're decluttering, you're doing great, and then you pick up something that makes you pause. It could be a dress you haven't worn in over a decade, or a gift from someone you no longer talk to, or a vase that's been sitting in the back of the cabinet since your retirement party. Suddenly, your mind starts racing. But maybe I'll use it again. But it was a gift and I don't want to be ungrateful. But what if I regret letting it go? Sound familiar? This is exactly when clutter fights back. Not because the item is useful, but because it's emotional. And this is where the 3-second gut rule becomes your best friend. Here's how it works. Pick up the item. Give yourself just 3 seconds to decide. Keep it or let it go. Why? Because your gut already knows. That first feeling you have, lightness, tension, hesitation, is the truth. And hesitation, my friend, is a no. Let me tell you about Shirley. She's 79, lives alone, and had a closet full of clothes from when she was still working. Blazers, slacks, high heels, all beautifully kept, but untouched for years. She told me, every time I tried to clean it out, I froze. I felt like I was saying goodbye to the woman I used to be. Then she tried the 3-second rule. Hold it. Count to 3. Listen to her gut. It felt scary at first, she said, but then it felt like I was finally giving myself permission to be who I am now. You don't need to justify what you release, and you don't need to explain what you keep. You only need to trust the voice inside you, the one that already knows. So today, try it on something small. Pick it up, count 1, 2, 3, and ask, does this add to my life or hold me in the past? Trust your gut. It's wiser than you think. Step 4. Capture the memory. Release the item. Some things are easy to let go of, like expired groceries, broken chargers, or that old sock you've meant to toss for months. But what about the things that hold emotion? A birthday card with your late husband's handwriting, a sweater you wore the night your daughter graduated, a seashell from your family's first trip to the beach. These items are wrapped in memory, and that makes them sacred. So when someone says, just throw it out, it can feel like they're asking you to throw away a part of yourself. But here's a softer, more loving truth. You don't have to keep the object to keep the memory. You don't have to live in the past to honor it. There's a method I love called capture and release. It's simple, but powerful. You take a photo of the item using your phone, tablet, or even a camera. Then you pause and tell its story. Speak it out loud or write it down. And once the memory is honored, you give yourself permission to let the item go. My friend Gloria, who's 81, had drawers full of small keepsakes from her 50-year marriage, movie ticket stubs, notes, souvenirs from vacations. She couldn't bear to toss them, but they were taking up space and keeping her stuck. One Sunday afternoon, she laid everything out on her dining table. She took photos. She created a folder on her iPad titled Pieces of Love. And then, piece by piece, she gently released them. Some were recycled. Some were donated. But all were remembered. When she was done, she said, "I cried, not because I was sad, but because I felt lighter. I wasn't erasing him. I was carrying him differently." That's what this step is all about. You are not erasing the love. You're just letting go of the weight, and that gives you space, not just in your home, but in your heart. Today, pick one item, one thing that's been sitting there for years. Hold it, photograph it, say the memory out loud, then ask yourself, do I need to keep this, or is the memory already mine? Let go with grace, not guilt, because the memory stays, even when the object goes. Step 5. The 10-minute grace sprint. If the idea of decluttering your home feels like trying to move a mountain, you're not alone. Many women I talk to say the same thing. I just don't have the energy I used to. That's not failure. That's life. Our bodies change. Our days are full of little things, and even good intentions can fall to the side when the overwhelm creeps in. But here's a gentle truth. You don't need to clean the whole house. You don't need to do everything today. You only need 10 minutes. That's what I call the 10-minute grace sprint. It's not about rushing. It's not about being perfect. It's about momentum. Soft, sustainable, and kind to yourself. You start by picking one very small space, a kitchen drawer, your nightstand, the bottom shelf of a bookcase. Then you set a timer for 10 minutes. Not 30, not 2 hours, just 10. When the timer starts, you begin. No distractions, no overthinking. You touch once, decide once. Keep, donate, or let go. You'll be amazed how much can shift in just 10 minutes of focused energy. Ruth, who's 72, lives with arthritis and fatigue. Some days, even simple tasks feel heavy. But she decided to try a 10-minute grace sprint with her bathroom cabinet. She set her timer and tossed expired bottles, empty boxes, old makeup she hadn't used in years. When the timer rang, she looked at what she had done and smiled. "It wasn't perfect," she said, "but it was progress." That's the beauty of it. Grace, not pressure. You don't need to do more than you can. You only need to start. 10 minutes at a time builds confidence, and confidence builds clarity. Some days, you may feel like doing another round. Some days, 10 minutes is enough. Either way, you win. So today, look around your home. Find one small space. Set your timer, and just begin. Let the movement carry you. Let the effort, however small, remind you that you are still in charge. Not of everything, but of this moment. And that is more than enough. Step 6. Create a peace corner. When life feels chaotic, sometimes the best thing we can do is not try to fix everything all at once. Sometimes peace begins in just one corner. Not the whole house, not the whole week, just one small space that brings you calm. I call it the peace corner. It can be anywhere in your home. A chair by the window, the table where you drink your tea, a quiet spot in the sunroom. The goal isn't to decorate or impress anyone. It's to create a place that is yours, and only yours. A space that holds stillness, beauty, and breath. You clear it out fully. No clutter, no piles, no unopened mail, just space. Clean, open, and sacred. Let me share a story. Harriet is 75. After her husband passed, she moved into a smaller home. She was surrounded by boxes and memories and didn't know where to start. So I encouraged her to make one peace corner. She picked her favorite chair near a window where the afternoon sun would shine. She cleared the table beside it. She lit a small candle. She placed a framed picture of her granddaughter and a single book of poetry she loved. That was it. No chaos, no pressure, just softness. I sit here every morning now, she told me. And when I do, I remember who I am. Not the woman buried in things, but the one who still breathes, still reads, still hopes. And that's the gift of the Peace Corner. It's not about organization. It's about identity. It's a way to say to yourself, I still matter. You don't need a full makeover. You don't need to clear the whole house. You just need to begin with one corner. Choose a chair, wipe a table, add a little object that makes you smile, a lamp, a scarf, a small plant. This becomes your anchor. On hard days, it will be there for you. On quiet days, it will hold your thoughts. On ordinary days, it will remind you, I deserve peace. One peaceful corner can ripple through the rest of your life, and it starts with your choice to create it today. Step 7. The one in, one out rule. Decluttering your home is only half the journey. The other half is learning how to keep it from piling up again. For so many women I've spoken with, they finally make progress. They clear the counters, organize the drawers, donate the boxes, and for a little while, everything feels peaceful again. But then, slowly, without even realizing it, the clutter starts creeping back. A new magazine arrives. Another gift from a friend. A new blouse from the store. And before long, the drawers are tight again, and the shelves are full. It can feel frustrating, like you're always starting over, but there is a simple rule that can help, and it's one that has transformed many women's lives: the one in, one out rule. It works just the way it sounds. For every new item you bring into your home, one item must go out. That's it. If you buy a new shirt, donate one you haven't worn. If you get a new coffee mug, find one that's chipped or unused and let it go. If someone gives you a new blanket, release an old one that's worn or taking up space. It sounds simple, and it is, but it's also powerful. Because this rule makes you more mindful. It makes you pause. It makes you ask, do I really need this? And it keeps your home from slowly slipping back into the old patterns. Linda, a retired teacher who's 67, shared her story with me. She had worked hard to declutter her kitchen. She felt proud, lighter, even excited to cook again. But 3 months later, she noticed that her cabinets were full again. Not with trash, but with new things she had collected without thinking. Measuring cups, cookbooks, coffee mugs with cute sayings. It added up quickly. That's when she started using the one in, one out rule. Every time she brought home something new, she opened a drawer and made one release. She said it felt like a game at first, but then it became a habit. Now, she told me, I don't feel like I'm falling behind anymore. I'm just flowing forward. And that's the point. Decluttering isn't a one-time task. It's a rhythm, a relationship, a way of staying aware of what you truly use, what you truly love, and what you can finally release. So today, look around your home. What's something new you've added recently? A pair of shoes? A kitchen tool? A piece of mail you haven't filed yet? Now ask yourself, what is one thing you can let go of in exchange? Just one. That small act is a promise to your future self, the version of you who wants a home that feels free, not full. The one in, one out rule is your key to keeping the peace you've worked so hard to create. Step 8. The 5-minute evening reset. By the end of the day, most of us are tired. We've made meals, answered messages, paid bills, or maybe just tried to make sense of a world that moves faster than it used to. And when the sun goes down, we often look around and see the little messes we didn't get to. Papers on the counter, glasses on the coffee table, that sweater draped over the back of a chair. It might not seem like a big deal, but waking up to those small messes can chip away at your peace, day after day. That's why I always recommend something small, but incredibly effective. The 5-minute evening reset. It's exactly what it sounds like. just 5 minutes. Right before bed, you don't clean the whole house. You don't organize the whole kitchen. You simply set a timer, and for 5 peaceful minutes, you reset your space. You put away what's out of place. You return things to their homes. You wipe a surface or fold a blanket. It's not deep cleaning. It's not perfection. It's peace. The beauty of this practice is that it gives you closure. It draws a gentle line between the day that has passed and the rest your body and mind deserve. And when you wake up the next morning, you start your day with clarity, not chaos. Robert, a widower in his 70s, told me how powerful this one habit became for him. After his wife passed, he found himself overwhelmed, not by big things, but by the constant, nagging feeling that he was always behind. Dishes piled up, paperwork gathered, keys went missing. One evening, after watching a video just like this, he decided to try something different. He set a timer for 5 minutes. He tidied the kitchen counter, placed his reading glasses in a bowl by the lamp, and stacked his mail in one neat pile. The next morning, he woke up to a space that felt just a little lighter. He did it again that night, and again. "Now," he said, "my mornings feel like a fresh start instead of a burden." That's what the 5-minute reset gives you. A fresh start. And a small but powerful reminder, you're not behind. You're simply moving forward, one peaceful step at a time. Tonight, try it. Just 5 minutes. One drawer, one table, one little pocket of space that can go to sleep with you, cleared, calm, and cared for. Step 9. Shift your mindset. From cluttered to clear. Clutter is not just about stuff. It's not just the things we see. It's about what those things represent. A pile of old mail is not just paper. It's postponed decisions. Clothes you no longer wear aren't just fabric. They're versions of yourself that you've outgrown. A drawer full of gadgets is not just mess. It's memories, just in case fears, and a hesitation to let go of what might still hold value. And this is where decluttering becomes less about organizing and more about healing. If we want real peace, we don't just need to clean our space. We need to shift how we see it. Elena, a 72-year-old woman I met in a community workshop, had a home full of beautiful things. Antiques, books, boxes from her children's childhoods. But she felt heavy, anxious, like she couldn't breathe freely in her own home. "I thought I was honoring the past," she said, "but really, I was trapping myself in it." So we worked together to change the question. Instead of asking, "Should I keep this?" we asked, "Is this helping me live the life I want now?" That shift changed everything. She didn't throw everything away, but she made space. And in that space, she found clarity, joy, even room to start painting again, something she hadn't done in years. That's the invitation here. Shift the mindset. Let go of guilt. Let go of the pressure to preserve every chapter of your life in physical form. You are not a museum. You are a living, breathing, ever-changing woman. Your home should reflect today, not just yesterday. You can keep the love without keeping the clutter. You can honor the past without being buried by it. You can say goodbye to things and still hold on to meaning. So today, take one breath. One step. Look around and choose one thing to release, not because it's bad, but because you are choosing to live with less weight. You're choosing freedom. Peace doesn't come from having more space. It comes from having fewer burdens. And when you make this mindset shift, your home becomes not just cleaner, but clearer. More you. More now. And that is where your real joy begins. You deserve a home that feels like peace. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath. Really, go ahead. Inhale, exhale, let it land. Because what you've just done isn't small. You've given yourself time. You've given yourself attention. And most of all, you've given yourself permission. Permission to let go of what no longer serves you. Permission to keep what truly matters. And permission to move forward. Not rushed, not overwhelmed, just gently and with grace. Remember, decluttering is not about having the perfect house. It's about creating a space that feels like you, today. A space that doesn't hold the weight of old decisions, but instead gives you room to breathe, rest, and grow. You don't need to do it all in one day. You don't need to get it all right. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. One drawer, one moment, one breath at a time. If this video gave you comfort or clarity, or even just a little nudge in the right direction, I hope you'll tap that like button. Not for me, but as a quiet promise to yourself, I'm ready to live with more peace.